I'd like to go into the question of what does it mean that a human being should bring about a deep, profound change in himself. We're asking, is it possible to bring about a fundamental psychological revolution? Deep, abiding, irrevocable change, transformation. One has lived as a limited, contained, narrow individual. And it's very, very difficult to see the truth that you are the rest of mankind. That in you is the whole of man. That is, you as a human being is part of the world. You are the world. Not an idea, not something that's intellectually has been put together by reason and you say, yes, quite right. But the reality of the truth of it, that you represent as a human being the rest of humanity. Because you suffer, you're anxious, you're uncertain, confused, miserable, fearful, hurt, everything. And every human being has this. So your consciousness is the consciousness of mankind. From this arises another question, which is, consciousness contains mankind's sorrow. Not only your particular little sorrow, you have the sorrow of mankind. You understand? What an enormous perception that is. If you see it. That your sorrow is not yours, it's the whole of man, of mankind. Then you don't cry. Then you don't shed tears about your little wounds, your little failures, your little anxieties and so on. Now, is this possible for sorrow to end? If there is the ending of sorrow in one human being, who is the representative of all humanity, that ending affects the whole of consciousness of man. Don't accept what we are talking about. Find out, test it. That means you have to be free to observe. To observe without any wish, any longing, any pressure, any, to observe that is to observe a lovely flower. I wonder why human beings throughout the world don't see this simple fact that you cannot possibly have peace on earth if you are nationalistically divided. We want order outside in the world, politically, religiously, economically, socially. In our relationship with each other, we want order. We want some peace. We want some understanding. And if the inward psychological state is not orderly, not conflicting, not contradicting, if that state in consciousness is quiet, steady, clear, then you can bring about order in the world. Now what we are trying to do is try to bring order legislatively, nationally, and so on, order out there in the world, which has been proved over and over again that totally brings about disorder. That's why we are saying, I'm saying that without inward order, that is inward order in consciousness, which is in a mess, which is in a contradiction, without bringing about order inwardly, psychologically, you cannot possibly have order outwardly. And the crisis is there. We think the crisis national, economic, social, and so on. The crisis is not out there. The crisis is really inward. And we are unwilling to face that.
We want to get X all by itself. What can we do next? Just thinking of your algebra. What kind of tools could we use? Okay, that's fair enough. What can we do? But see, we still have this X term here. What are we going to do with it?
It is our education, way of living and tradition and so on, that something can be given to somebody else. Jesus can give you salvation, or a guru can save you, or your wife can help you. That may be an old, worn-out tradition to which we are clinging. That may be a wrong approach altogether. You have understanding, and I haven't got it. And you are conditioned, you are conditioned in the idea that you can give it to me. Right? That may not be the fact at all. Psychologically, inwardly, do you depend on somebody? Say, please help me to be free of my arrogance. Or in your relationship, you see the arrogance in you, it's gone. You in our relationship with each other, and I'm observing myself, and in that observation I discover that I'm arrogant in our relationship. So I'm not dependent for you to point out to me my arrogance. I'm already aware of it. It's tremendously important, sir. Nobody can give me intensity, the sense of beauty. I'm taking it. Then I am on my own. You follow? Not isolated and all that. Then I have to work find out. In the very working of it, I've got the intensity. When I discard the tradition in which I've been brought up, that is to depend on somebody, and when I discard it, then I have to work it, right? Or I'll go down the drain, either way. If I discard that, I'm already free, I've already got this sense of energy, intensity. Then I'm not dependent on anybody. Can I observe myself through relationship? Can I know myself fundamentally, basically, all the reactions, all the nuances, the subtleties of myself in relationship? Now, one's relationship with another is based on memory, right? Would you accept it? On the various images, pictures, conclusions I have drawn about you and you have drawn about me. The various images that I have about you, wife, husband, girl or boy or friend and so on. So there is always image making, right? This is simple, this is normal, this is actually goes on. When one is married or lives with a girl or a boy, every incident, every word, every action creates an image. No? Are we clear on this point? Don't agree with me, please. I'm not trying to persuade you to anything. But actually you can see it for yourself. A word is registered. If it is pleasant, you purr. It's nice. If it is unpleasant, you immediately shrink from it. And that creates an image. The pleasure creates an image. The shrinking, the withdrawal creates an image. So our actual relationship with each other is based on various subtle forms of pictures, images, and conclusions. So when there is an image like that, she has and you have, then in there is division. And then the whole conflict begins. Right? Where there is division between two images, there must be conflict. Right? The Jew and the Arab, the Hindu, the Muslim, the Christian, the communist, is the same phenomena. It's a basic law that where there is division between people, there must be conflict. The man may say to the woman or the woman may say to the man, I love you, but basically they are not related at all. Then the factor arises, can all this image making tradition, desire for all that end without a single conflict? You understand my question? Are you interested in this? What will you pay for it? That's all you can do. By paying something you think you'll get it. Now how can this mechanism of image making not just image making, the desire for certainty, the tradition, the whole structure of that. Can that end? Right? Are you asking that question? Who is there to tell you what to do? See, this, when we are children, the parents tell you what to do. That same mentality is cultivated right through life. In school you are told what to do, in college you are told what to do, in university, right through life, somebody tells you this is right, this is wrong, this should be done, that should not be done. Which means what? There is no self-investigation. There is no saying, I am really the rest of mankind, but you are. Because every human being right through the world goes through a great deal of suffering, great deal of pain, great deal of anxiety, uncertain, confused, insecure, like you, like the rest of the world. We don't accept that. We think my suffering is totally separate from other people's suffering. And so, we have this mentality that I must have somebody to tell me what to do. Right from the Pope down to the poor parish priest. Really one should ask a question, why human beings, though they have extraordinary knowledge, and yet nobody is willing to change? Why? Is it that they find security in the habit, in the pattern? Your pattern, my pattern, the Christian pattern, the Hindu pattern, the Buddhist. They're all patterns, a way of thinking. So, patterns may be dangerous altogether because they divide people. And religions have divided people. Their rituals, their beliefs, their faith, their saviors. Now, to break away from all that requires intelligence, requires investigation, study. Nobody is willing to do that.
Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Tat. Tumi
बंधु तुम्ही नाथ, तुम्ही बंधु तुम्ही नाथ, निशी दीन तुम्ही अमर, निशी दीन तुम्ही अमर, तुम्ही बंधु तुम्ही नाथ, तुम्ही बंधु तुम्ही नाथ, निशी दीन तुम्ही अमर, निशी दीन तुम्ही अमर, तुम्ही सुख तुम्ही शांती, तुम्ही सुख तुम्ही शांती, तुम्ही हे अमृत पादान, तुम्ही हे अमृत पादान, तुम्ही बंधु तुम्ही नाथ, तुम्ही बंधु तुम्ही नाथ, निशी दीन तुम्ही अमर.
From childhood, we are taught comparison. We say you must be as clever as your brother. Or in school, you get better marks than somebody else. So you're always being compared, and you learn to compare, don't you? I say, don't compare yourself with anybody. Right? You ever heard that? Right? Now, why do you compare?
To find out who's better.
Huh?
To find out who's better.
To find out if you're better. That is, you compare yourself with her. She is much more intelligent, more bright, more clever, and so in comparing yourself with her, you become dull. Huh?
Yes.
Huh? But if you don't compare, are you dull?
No, you just
listen carefully. In examinations, in schools, all through life they're comparing. Tell your teacher, don't compare. The relationship between the teacher and you, she knows more than you do, right?
academically.
Academically. By Jove. You're very bad. Academically, you know more than he does. Now, she's teaching you about biology. And she's giving you marks, right? And gradually helping you to pass that examination. Now, can she teach you without the idea of examination?
How do you test yourself, sir?
What?
Without examination.
Yes, sir, without examination.
How do you test yourself without examination? You mean the examination is going to tell you how you have learned?
Maybe, sir.
I mean, listen, you're too quick. Find out. You're also used to examinations. That's your tradition. That's your habit. And when you question that, you say, yes, what shall I do? And you get nervous, frightened. When I was learning, when I was at school in England, I never passed one examination. Right? I went through all the examinations, but I sat in the hall without writing a thing. Are you interested in all this? What do you consider is life? Your life. What is your life? What is that life that you daily live? Dependence, attachment, pain, annoyance, anger, irritation, sorrow. You know all this, don't you? This is your daily life. Going to the temple and doing some kind of noise with the bell and doing puja, doing yoga. That we say that is our life. Then what do you mean by a religious life? You tell me, what does religion mean to you? The word religion means to gather all your energy. That's all they mean. You understand, sir? To gather all your energy to inquire, to find. Right? Would you? Not all the nonsense of temples, rituals, and all this either, sir. What you put on your head. You see how you all agree? The meaning of the word. That means gathering every particle of energy that you have to inquire into what is truth and what is reality, to inquire into what is meditation, to inquire into why human beings live the way we are living, to inquire if there is an end to sorrow, to inquire into what is love, whether one can live without any effort, and control all that is implied in that word. A religious life implies being a light to yourself, which means no outside authority. We are talking about having no spiritual authority, including me, the speaker. Have you any authority? Spiritual authority? You have had various Guru Mahatma, Mr. Gandhi, and so on, all the way from the 6th, 5th, 4th, 3rd century, down to the present. And where are you, having been led for these thousands of years? Where are you? Or you want to be still led? So I'm asking, we are asking you courteously, if you have thrown away your traditions.
Yes, sir.
Traditions being nationality, your caste, your beliefs, your rituals, going to the temples, all that. Have you thrown it away?
No, sir.
No? No. Then how can you find out what a religious life is when you are blind? So you want to find out what a religious life is, and yet won't leave your little enclosure. Right? You are tied to your tradition and you want to inquire into something that demands a mind that is capable, a heart that can really love. Without that, freeing yourself from your tradition, your culture, your belief, how can you find out anything? You can repeat what the Gita said, or the Upanishads, or some other book. What value has it? I was told the other day, some of the gurus now give lectures or talks on Gita. Is that right? Yes. And there are hundreds and thousands go and listen to it. What value has it? What are we all playing at, sirs? Apparently, one doesn't see one's own tragedy. Right, sir? Psychologically, why should I accept what somebody else says? When I realize that I am the rest of mankind, mankind is me. The me is the history of mankind, the book of mankind. If I know how to read it, I don't depend on anybody. So, can I, without distortion, without prejudice, without choice, be aware of the content of this book, which is me? To read it very carefully, never distorting it, requires a great deal of attention, great deal of energy, intensity, immediacy. And we are not willing to do all that because we think that's too tiresome. Tell me quickly what to do and I will do it, or I may not do it. Generally, I may not do it.